Chapter 2, Landforms of the Earth. So in this chapter we will study regarding various landforms of the earth, such as plains, plateaus, valleys, mountains. So these are the various landforms that we see on earth. So first let's see the definition of lithosphere. What is lithosphere? The hard crust of the earth on which we live is known as the lithosphere. So the hard surface on which we stand, on which we sit, on which we live, that hard part or the hard crust of the earth's surface is known as lithosphere. The lithosphere is not a plane surface. So when we talk about lithosphere, it does not mean that lithosphere should be a plane surface, but it has a number of ups and downs. So lithosphere is a rough surface. It has a very rugged topography or rugged terrain or a very rugged surface. That is, it has a very rough surface. So the lithosphere, it is not plain everywhere. It has many ups and downs. All these ups and downs form different types of landforms on the earth. Because of these ups and downs, we see various types of landforms on the earth. So we will study about these various types of landforms of earth on this surface. So first we will study the categories. The landforms of the earth has been categorized into three parts. That is, first order or relief features, second order of relief features, third order of relief features. So these are the three orders or three categories on the basis of which the landforms of the earth has been categorized. Again, further there are the subdivisions, such as first order relief features are continents and ocean basins. Continents are the huge land masses of on the earth, and ocean basins are the ocean beds, the ocean floor. They are the ocean basins. So these two comprises the first order of relief features. Under second order goes mountains, plateaus, plains, etc. And under third order goes mountain peaks, hills, valleys. So these are the three categories of landforms of the earth. So in this chapter we will study regarding these various relief features. In this chapter we will discuss about the second and third form of relief features. This is the second and third form. So in this chapter we will study regarding the second and third form of relief features. So all of these relief features are collectively known as landforms. So when we talk about mountains, plateaus, plains, hills, valleys, so all these together comprises of landforms. A number of processes are responsible for the formation of various landforms. So these landforms have been formed because of various processes or various forces that comes from within the earth, as well as that originates outside the earth. So those processes or those forces we will study in detail. These are the processes which helped in the formation of these landforms that we see today. So processes responsible for the formation of landforms. So there are two forces. One is endogenetic force, another is exogenetic force. So these are the two forces that are responsible for the formation of any kind of landforms on the earth. So endogenetic forces are the forces that comes from within the earth's surface, and it is categorized into two parts, folding and faulting. We will study in details what is folding and faulting. So endogenetic forces endogenetic forces are the forces that comes from within the earth's surface. Then exogenetic forces are the forces which originate from the atmosphere. It does not come from inside the earth's surface, it originates from the atmosphere. The agents that help in these exogenetic forces are rivers, ice, wind, etc. So these are the forces, these are the agents that brings the exogenetic force, and these are the agents which help in the formation of various landforms on the earth. So now we came to know regarding these two forces, that is endogenetic force, exogenetic force, and both of them work together in the formation of various landforms. Now we will study in details what is endogenetic force. So the force coming from within the earth, as I told you, the force that comes from within the earth, that is called endogenetic force, and this force gives birth to various types of relief features on the earth's surface. So relief features such as mountains, plains, plateaus, these are the relief features which are formed due to the endogenetic forces. The endogenetic forces are responsible for folding and faulting. So these are the two movements that are caused due to endogenetic force. These are the two movements, that is folding and faulting. These two movements are caused due to endogenetic force. So first we will see what is folding. So let me show you here one diagrammatic explanation is here regarding folding. and this folding leads to the formation of fold mountains. These are the fold mountains. As we can see here, the mountains that we see, that is Himalayas, these are all fold mountains. Himalaya is an example of fold mountain, and these kind of fold mountains are formed because of folding. So now we will study in detail what is folding. It occurs through the processes of compression. Compression is when two land masses, they compress each other in same direction. These two land masses, they compress each other in same direction. So what happens at that time? One side of the surface, it rises up. In this way it rises up. One side of the earth surface rises up. So obviously when one side of the earth surface is rising, the other will move downwards. So this is the formation that comes, or this is the shape that comes. This is the fold mountain, this is the peak of the fold mountain, and this is the valley. So because of folding, these two parts arises, that is the fold and the valley. So it occurs through the process of compression. So when two land masses, they compress each other in same direction. When two forces horizontally act towards each other. So these are the two forces, they are horizontally acting towards each other, the folds occur. So as I told you, when these two land masses will compress each other, one side will fold like this. Like if I, in this page, if I compress this page, so it will rise like this. As you can see, it is rising. So this is the fold that has come. This is the fold that has come because I have compressed it in one direction, and this is the fold that has come. So in this way, same process of fold mountain also occurs. Folds are the wave-like bends that are formed in the crust due to the process of compression. So this is the wave-like bend. Here we can see this is a wave-like bend that occurs because of this compression. Like as I told you, I have shown you compression like this. This is the compression that I am giving. This is the compression I am giving from one side, and this wave-like bend has come. So one side it is up, means the other side it is down. This is the downward side. So this is the wave-like bend that comes, and this wave-like bend that is upwards, it is called anticline, and the down bend is called syncline. In a fold, some parts are bent up while the others are bent down. So bent up, it is anticline, and bent down is the syncline. The anticline portion forms the peak of the mountain, while the syncline portion forms the valley of the mountain. So this is very important, anticline and syncline. These are the two parts or two folds of the part that is formed due to folding. So now we are clear about folding. Next we will go to faulting. Another movement of endogenetic force is faulting. So here what happens, it refers to the displacement of rocks along a plane due to compressional and tensional forces. So here only compressional force was acting. The two landforms, they were pushing towards each other. But here what happens, compressional force also acts and tensional force also acts. So compressional, again as I told you, they will move towards each other, and tensional is they will move away from each other, they will move away. So what happens, these two forces, they go on simultaneously. Compressional, tensional, they will come towards each other, then they will again move against each other, again they will come towards each other, again they will move against each other. So compressional, tensional force. So what happens in this case, the land, this is suppose this is the land. So this land, it starts cracking. This is the crack that is formed on the land surface. So further, when this compressional and tensional forces occur, this crack, it widens. The crack, it widens, and so what happens, the block of land, it falls down. A block of land, it falls down. So the fallen part, this is the fallen part. So this, let me show you the picture clearly. So this is the land. This is the land. Crack is occurring on the land because of this compressional and tensional forces. These are the cracks. So what happens? This compressional and tensional force, they continue. They occur simultaneously. So further compressional and tensional forces happens, and these cracks, they widens, they get bigger and bigger, they widen, these cracks, they widens. So what happens, this landform, a part of the landform, it falls down because of those wide cracks. The part of the landform, it falls down. So this is the fallen part. So the fallen part, it is the valley of the mountain, and this raised part, they are the block mountains that we see. They are the block mountains. So the raised portions are called horst, H-O-R-S-T, horst, and the fallen part, this one, it is the valley, or it is also called graben, G-R-A-B-E-N, graben, horst and graben. So this horst is the block mountain and the graben is the valley part. In this way, block mountains are formed, and this is the process of faulting. Fault occurs on the earth surface. Fault means these cracks occurs on the land surface, and these cracks, when they widen, a part of the land, it falls down. Once this part of the land falls down, the other portion looks raised. So that raised portion is the block mountain, and the fallen part is the valley, that is graben. So in this way, block mountain occurs. So folding gives rise to fold mountain, and faulting gives rise to block mountain. So it refers to the displacement of rocks along a plane due to the compressional and tensional forces acting horizontally or vertically. So these compressional and tensional forces, they will either act horizontally or vertically. This is vertical direction. So this will either act horizontally or vertically. So faulting is responsible for the origin of block mountains and rift valleys. As I have shown you that faulting gives rise to block mountains and rift valley. The raised portion, they are the block mountains, also called horst, and the rift valley, that is a fallen portion, it is called graben. These are the examples of block mountains given. Vosges mountains and Black Forest mountains of Europe are the result of the process of faulting. These are the block mountains. So now we are clear about endogenetic force. Now we will study exogenetic force. The forces which derive their strength from the Earth's exterior or originate within the Earth's atmosphere. So the force that comes out from outside the Earth, or the force that originates within the atmosphere, that force is called exogenetic force. So these are the exogenetic forces. Weathering, mass wasting, erosion and deposition are the main exogenetic forces. When there are erosional action, when the wind or the rain, it erodes the land surface, it weathers down the rocks, it breaks down the rocks. So this breaking down, these erosional actions also give rise to land surface, and it is not like that it will give rise to land surface within 1 or 2 days. This takes thousands and millions of years to be formed. This erosional action, this weathering, this mass wasting, all these are very gradual processes, a very slow process. So this process, it goes on gradually, and year after year these land surfaces or the landforms come into existence. The elements of nature capable of carrying out these exogenetic processes. So these exogenetic processes, weathering, mass wasting, erosion, deposition, these are done by some agents of atmosphere or some erosional agents. So who are these erosional agents who help in this kind of exogenetic processes? The erosional agents are wind, water, waves, etc. They help in carrying out these exogenetic processes. So now we will discuss the following. The hard crust of the earth on which we live is called lithosphere. Dash and dash are forces responsible for the formation of various relief features, endogenetic and exogenetic. Dash and dash are the first order of relief features, continents and ocean basins. Mountains are the dash order of relief feature. You will write down second. Dash are formed due to endogenetic force. You will write down fold mountains and block mountains. Otherwise, we can also write down only mountains, plains, plateaus. So anything we can write down that are formed due to endogenetic force. Then dash and dash of Europe are the results of process of faulting. One is Vosges mountain, another is Black Forest mountain. Now we will study regarding mountains. So what are mountains? Mountains are the natural elevations of the earth surface. Elevation are the raised area of the earth surface, and these elevations are natural. These raised portions are natural. It is not man-made at all. So mountains are the natural elevations of the earth surface, and we have already studied how mountains are formed because of endogenetic forces like folding and faulting. These are the processes which help in the formation of mountains. So characteristic of a mountain: mountains have broad base and conical top like a peak. So mountains, they have a broad base, the base is very broad, and they have this cone shaped peak. Mountains have moderate climate. In mountainous areas, the climate is very moderate. It is neither very hot nor very cold. The mountainous areas, they have moderate climate as compared to the plain areas. Mountains are the storehouse of glaciers. The snow-covered mountains, it is not all mountains, but the snow-covered mountains, they are the storehouse of glaciers, which are the main source of water for rivers. These glaciers, they give water. They are the source of water for the rivers. The rivers that run down from the mountains, these rivers, they originate from the glaciers that are situated on the mountains. The mountain ranges are usually found parallel to each other. There are the ranges of mountains. These ranges together comprises of mountains. So these ranges, they are usually found parallel to each other. Like we know the Himalayan ranges, 3 Himalayan ranges, that is Greater Himalaya, Middle Himalaya, and the Shivalik, the lower Himalayas. They are the 3 parallel ranges. This kind of parallel ranges. Every mountain, they have this kind of parallel ranges. So these were the characteristics of mountains. Now we will study in detail about the types of mountains. So broadly speaking, the mountains are divided into 4 categories. So what are those 4 categories? First is Youngfold mountain. So what is Youngfold mountain? The mountains that have been formed recently are known as Youngfold mountains. These mountains, they have been formed recently, so that is why they are called Youngfold mountains, and they are very much different from Oldfold mountains. In Youngfold mountain, the peaks are very conical in shape, very sharp. These are the sharp peaks in Youngfold mountain. But in Oldfold mountain, the peaks are rounded like this, because these Oldfold mountains, they are formed much earlier. They are formed much earlier than Youngfold mountain. That is why the Oldfold mountain, because the erosional agents that I already told you, the erosional agents of atmosphere like wind, water, these agents, they have eroded this peak. When Oldfold mountain was young, the peak was conical. But because of these erosional agents, they have eroded this conical peak, and today what we see is this rounded peak. So Youngfold mountain, they have this conical peak, and Oldfold mountain, they have this rounded peak. Then Youngfold mountain, the slopes are very steep. These slopes, they are very steep. It is it is kind of getting raised immediately. The slopes are very steep. But in Oldfold mountain, the slopes are very gentle, like this, very gentle slope. We can see the difference between this steep slope and the gentle slope. So these are the difference between Youngfold and Oldfold mountain. Again, Youngfold mountain has the steep slopes because these are recently formed. So erosional agents or erosional action of the agents, they are working on these Youngfold mountains, but they have worked on these Oldfold mountains because they are found many years earlier in comparison to Youngfold mountain. So when this erosional, it does not mean that erosional agents will not work on Youngfold mountains. Erosional agents are working on Youngfold mountains, but since they are young, so they are taking time to get eroded. But these Youngfold mountains will also after a few years or after millions of years will turn into Oldfold mountain. This Youngfold mountains peak will also become rounded. The Youngfold mountain slopes will also become gentle. But now this is the difference between Youngfold and Oldfold mountain. So examples of Youngfold mountain are Himalayas, Alps, and Andes, Rockies. These are the examples of Youngfold mountain. And Oldfold mountain examples are Urals, Appalachians, Tian Shan, Aravallis. These are the examples of Oldfold mountain. In India, we have this old fold mountain, that is the Aravallis. The Aravallis of India, they are considered as the old mountains of the earth surface. They are one of the oldest mountains of the earth surface, that is Aravallis of India. Then we will study what is block mountain. Already I have explained you regarding block mountain. Block mountains are formed due to faulting. When the faults break, the earth's crust into several blocks. Some blocks went up while some went down. So as I have already told you here, because of this faulting, the earth's crust, these cracks come on this crust, and this earth's surface breaks down. Some portion it falls down, and some portion is raised. So this raised portion is called the block mountain. The raised blocks of the earth's surface are called the block mountains. These are the examples given. Black Forest in Germany, Vosges in France, Sierra Nevada, California, and Salt Range, Pakistan. These are the examples of block mountains. And then volcanic mountains, obviously they are formed because of the solidification of lava on the earth's surface. When volcano erupts, the magma comes out from the earth's surface and this solidifies as lava. When it is inside the mountain, it is called magma, and once it comes out of the mountain, we say it lava. So this lava, after coming out from the mountains, they solidify, and this solidification of lava on the earth's surface leads to the formation of volcanic mountains. And example of volcanic mountains are Etna in Italy, Kilimanjaro, Africa, Cotopaxi, Andes, Krakatoa, Indonesia, and Fujiyama in Japan. These are the famous volcanic mountains of the world.